everyone, and welcome to our first weekly Batman commentary. I am Captain Logan, and with me, as always, is the magnanimous Steve Baxi.
Hello.
And the incredible DanzNewz.
Ooh, incredible. Hello.
And we are starting a new thing. Well, actually, we're continuing on an old thing that never got finished. Vince and I, several months ago, were doing commentaries of episodes of Batman the Animated Series. We were going to go through the entire thing, and we started it as a discussion series, and then we decided it would be more fun to do it as commentary. So we started doing that, and then Vince and I got busy with other things, and then the radio show happened, and we've never gotten back to it. And since we decided to stop doing the regular weekly discussion series, don't worry, there will still be stuff on TV and more about that as it develops, but we decided, I love the rapport I've got with these two guys. This has been so much fun doing Gotham with these guys, and I'm starting to see them as kind of my Batman crew.
Ooh.
And we thought, wouldn't it be fun? This is actually Dan's idea. Dan, several weeks ago, sent me a message and was like, "Hey, you ever gonna do this again? Can I be part of that?"
It was after one of the Gotham discussions. I was like, "Are you gonna be doing any more of that? Because I want to get in on that."
He wanted to get in on it, and I was like, I don't know when we'll ever have time to do that. And so finally, when we decided to shut down the weekly TV discussions, I thought, well, why not just keep my appointment with these guys and do more Batman stuff? So the plan right now is weekly Batman commentaries, and sometimes we might do reviews. We might do other Batman things that aren't commentaries. But what we want to do, mostly weekly. There might be weeks here and there that we jump out, and there might be weeks where you get me and Steve, like we have sometimes with Gotham, and not Dan. But for the most part, we're gonna shoot for the three of us. In fact, even today, we didn't know if Dan was gonna be here, and here he is.
I'm a busy guy.
But anyway, so we're gonna start with this. We're gonna do Batman the Animated Series in order from where Vince and I left off. One a week. Every now and again we might do two, but for the most part, one a week. And then here and there we're gonna do other things. We're gonna bring in other TV shows, and I'm gonna have these guys help me finish out the commentaries for the Nolan Batman movies. We've never done Dark Knight. We've never done Dark Knight Rises, and like I said, I love the dynamic with these guys. I think that would be so much fun to do it with the three of us. So we're gonna do Batman movies and other things, and I hope you guys enjoy it. We're gonna have weekly Batman stuff all the time. So yay, so much fun. I'm really looking forward to it. And without further ado, let's get into Pretty Poison. This is, like I said, where Vince and I left off. This is the first Poison Ivy episode. And if you want to watch the show with us, of course, we're going to be talking as we're watching the entire episode. So get your DVD or your Blu-ray or go to Amazon Prime, however you want to watch it. Rig it up to timestamp 0. Get past all your menus and everything. Make sure that you're watching the right episode. Pretty Poison is the name of the episode. And we will provide as much context as we can for you for what we're looking at and talking about if you want to just watch us on video talking about it. But you can also watch it along with us. It is a commentary track. So, without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Yep.
Here we go. Everybody, please press play right now.
This theme song used to be my ringtone on my phone.
Oh, same.
Really?
But I don't like.
Did it start from the beginning? Was it like
no? It was that. No. What was it? Oh no, it's the dun 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 dun. And I don't like it. I don't like talking on the phone, and I don't like answering the phone. So it started becoming a negative thing whenever it went off. So I was like, I need to change this. I don't want to dread hearing the Batman theme.
You gotta pick a thing you don't like. You
Yeah.
know, you gotta pick like the theme from I don't know, like Jonah Hex.
Yeah,
whatever that is.
Whatever that is, yeah.
So obviously, this is one of the greatest intros of anything ever, and it's hard to watch the show and not just gush over things. But how innovative was this? Let's do like a mini cartoon to open every episode, and not even have a title. You know it's Batman. You know what that is.
Yeah, and it kind of sums up everything so well. Like in the show, like it's a good little just summary. Like he takes out the crooks in the shadows, and then the cops get him, but he's up on the rooftop watching his work. It's pretty cool.
Well, awesome. Of course, being inspired by the Fleischer Superman cartoons, you could about just show that back in the day in front of a movie, and like, there's your cartoon.
Yeah. I love those.
And then, of course,
Max
when
Fleischer
they originally made that intro, and it was just a pitch for the show, it was done with that same animation style from Fletcher.
Yeah, that's right. It was. Are we gonna do what Bruce Timm always does, and just talk about that intro every single time we watch it?
Yes.
Is that what we're gonna do? Okay.
Yes.
Cool. As everyone knows, the past was in sepia tone.
Not black and white.
I don't know if I don't know if you guys remember this, but when you were kids, sepia tone.
Like,
Just the
perfect
whole,
sense.
It was 4:3 as well, if I remember correctly.
Here, of course, is our introduction to Harvey Dent. I think it's really cool that we've got some continuity in the show, even though most of these episodes are kind of one-and-done episodes. They call back to things. But, you can watch the show in any order you want to, but if you actually watch it in the order that it was produced in, you get some fun stuff like that. And it's just like 89, where you have Harvey Dent. He's not going to be Two-Face. And we don't even have to have any callbacks. Or we don't even have to have any, obnoxious foreshadowing. Hey, look, he's using a coin. Or, everything's about the number 2.
Oh, Julio's plowing that one strip of land.
Yes.
I never understood when I was a child how animation works, so I was always wondering why is the rest look so pristine, and then the one part where the things are actually happening, they look weird. It's just because it's like the matte picture and then where they animate.
Why is this show selling me propaganda? It's like a better, safer Gotham 5 years later. I'm like, oh, okay. Obviously, I'm supposed to be very impressed with the city government for fixing their city. And then when we see where all this goes later on, that's even more amusing and somewhat problematic. But anyway.
Oh, this is also the first appearance of Renee Montoya.
Is it really?
Yes, this is.
Does she have any lines, or does she just run around?
I don't think she has any lines. She just runs around.
I don't remember her having any lines. Oh, Bullock, you're such a stereotype. Grab the donut. That's so Bullock.
That's so Bullock.
That's so Bullock.
I can't believe Gordon has Montoya working under him after he went. She was going for his wife.
These are the two most crooked looking crooks in the entire city. Like these guys should never go undercover. Like, I think that guy is just Matches Malone. Like, I'm pretty sure Batman took one look at that guy and was like, and that's gonna be what I'm gonna do for Matches Malone.
I love the play on angles with this stuff, like just kind of rising from the skyscrapers to down, and it's like things are at such a weird angle. I love it.
Yeah, and they do very rarely that they ever do close-ups. It's always like medium shots and stuff. It always feels like it's a movie, and it doesn't feel like it's a 2000s thing or a 90s thing. It's always just constant quality.
Yeah.
Well, and obviously there's some kind of like symbolic stuff of the angles of the city and all how edgy everything is and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I love this grapnel, by the way. Because the thing about the Nolan movies is that Batman's grapnel is shaped like a pistol, and that just doesn't seem right. And then here it's not like that at all. It seems more practical. And always makes that cool sound.
Yeah, I never liked the idea, if you're going to do a Batman that doesn't like to use a gun, I mean, if it's the sort of Batman that doesn't have an issue with that, I guess, whatever. But when you make a point out of Batman doesn't use a gun, I don't like it when his grapnel's shaped like. I don't feel like Batman would want to use anything that even looked like a gun.
Yeah.
Seems like that would bother him. That'd be a psychological kind of dilemma.
Yeah, Nolan movies have that a lot, where he's always packing heat for some reason. I don't understand that.
Man, when did
I get it
pretty well too?
He's getting his kicks.
Yeah. When did Moe escape the Three Stooges? Ooh.
Batman's "I'm your worst nightmare" line there was used in a lot of the promo advertising at the time.
Yeah.
Yes. I can't believe they got away with as much as they did with Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
Like, she's far more sexual than any other 90s cartoon character I've seen. At least on just Saturday morning cartoons.
I mean, they do some stuff with Harley Quinn in this too. I would make the case that some of the like kind of sexy sensual women on this show are that way. Not just Poison Ivy though.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure how they will do to swing that though by Warner Brothers for some of this.
They got away with a lot of stuff in this show, and that's a big theme that Vince and I were talking a lot about when we started doing this too.
Oh. Bruce's car is awesome.
I think introducing Poison Ivy in this way is a really neat idea. That a lot of the time it's just, okay, there's a villain and we go fight him, and I kind of like that we got Bruce Wayne just hanging out with this girl 10 minutes before he's finally gonna, or 50 minutes before he's finally gonna realize, oh, she's a supervillain.
Mm-hmm.
Although when we get there, we'll have to talk a little bit about about how she's managed to go under the radar for so long? Because I have a really tough time buying that this is the first guy she's done this to.
Well, they showed her in the very beginning about like this is a very personal thing for Harvey and her because they plowed down all those plants. So I don't think she would do it to anyone but Harvey. But then it raises the question of why did she wait 5 years?
Well, yeah, and she's got a supervillain lair, and she's obviously been like genetically manipulating plants to kill people just in case she needs that to happen. And she's already got her persona all figured out. She's like, call me Poison Ivy. Like, I guess the sense I got, maybe I'm wrong about this, is that maybe she's done this kind of thing to people before, and then she'll like move on and maybe come up with like a new persona and stuff so that nobody knows about her past or whatever.
There's a little bit of that in the comics, so I guess I wouldn't be surprised if that's true.
But I don't want to project that onto this, but I have a hard time buying that this extreme personality has not done this kind of thing before. Also, so these roses are about to go extinct, and or actually they think they're extinct, and she's found some. Are they seem to be native to Gotham? Are they extinct because they were only growing under that one place where they built the building on top of it?
Yeah, I guess. They're not even real roses. They give them a name, and they're usually pretty factually correct about some of that stuff, but these are fake roses.
Well, I think they make up quite a bit of stuff for the sake of pseudoscience and stuff, and I think that's one of them too, because it's like, well, if we make up an actual extinct rose, but then we say it was just extinct 5 years ago, this show is kind of timeless and doesn't want to be stuck in a period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think you want to make up a rose.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Although it's funny because the rose she's talking about, the Rescula valaris, translates to normal rose from Latin.
This is a strange point of view choice. He's not awake.
Like showing like him looking kind of.
It's showing what's going on from his perspective, but it's like if he was awake, that's what you would be seeing. Okay, it's a strange arbitrary choice to me, but all right.
Oh.
Bullet, is this going to be a running gag with Bullet?
I guess this episode.
Well, both times we saw Gore and he just like what and runs away, so maybe that's his shtick.
Bullock is Sam Burke in this show.
Oh, that mustache.
Fantastic.
There's a lot of mustaches in this show. Somewhat.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of Harveys in this show, but we've talked about that with guys.
Yeah.
I guess it's funny because like 5-10 years later, DC seems to be anti-fancy mustache. No one on their TV shows has a mustache.
At the same time as they decided that Superman would no longer be the last son of Krypton, they also said no mustaches.
No mustaches, no last sons, no jokes. This is the new DC.
Yeah. It's the one where we peeled it back on the logo for some reason. Dr. Kravitz?
Dr. Harvey.
Dr. Lenny Kravitz?
No, Dr. Harvey Kravitz. Just like everybody Harvey. Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, Harvey Kravitz. Lenny Harvey Kravitz. Why did we both have a Kravitz joke?
I was trying to find a point to name the Dr. Harvey. That was the opportunity.
Oh, he's dealing with plants and antidotes and has a green tie.
Oh, yeah, that's
He has
clever.
a green tie. So watch what Bruce is going to do here. How does he not accidentally wipe that off the way he puts this in his pocket?
That's not how they
this.
work, though.
Well, it sure looks like he's wiping it off, though.
No, but with blood slides, there's 2 layers, so the blood's the middle. You wouldn't be able to wipe it off.
I know there is. Okay, that's a good point. But the way they animated it, it sure doesn't look like there's 2 layers.
Because they're so thin. Even in real life, it looks like it's just one piece.
Oh, okay. Well, then that was a dumb point I just made, and I retract it now. I'm
sorry for ruining the joke.
I don't think Bullock is nearly as good at interrogating people in this as he is in Gotham.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it just
he should be hitting people with phone books.
But it just goes to show how some inspiration seem to have been taken from kind of the animated series and stuff like that. It's just so similar to me.
Yeah.
Oh, the gigantic screen. I always love how Batman is just like on the keyboard. It's like Billy from the Power Rangers.
Episodes, I think there's aren't there episodes where that keyboard is a lot bigger?
Yes.
Yeah.
As the animation gets better, the keyboards and TV gets even bigger.
They totally redesigned that later. But you're right, like when the keyboard gets bigger, it's even funnier because like boosh, 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 boosh.
Alfred, could you hit the P key? It's all the way over there. So that's why you needed Robin.
Even the hospital's creepy.
It is, yeah.
Gotham's just such a gothic city.
They always make a point about the fact that the boards for this show were made on black, and it always shows the darkness to every scene. It's really hard to find any other way to do that.
Yeah. Can I say I love that pretty much every elevator in this show ever always is the dial that points to the floor. Like, I love that.
Yeah, because they like to do everything really old school.
Yeah.
Like the cars look like they're from the 30s.
Even some of the clothes too. Like that suit was out of fashion 30 years ago.
Yeah, but it's still pretty snazzy looking.
Yeah, it looks nice. I guess it would be hard to notice if you didn't like look at suits for a living.
Batman's of course supposed to be the world's greatest detective, and so he has really good intuition and stuff. But I don't know if just she hugged you a little too long is enough to be like, wait a minute, I'm remembering when she was making out with Harvey Dent. Maybe that's what happened. And then here in a little bit, he's going to go back to the Batcave, and he's going to find out that Pamela. Oh, right now, he's going to find out that Pamela has been working with plants, and now it's a smoking gun. Like, I get that it's pretty. That is pretty coincidental. You look more into it, but he has this line, and we'll see. We'll see it in a second. I forget exactly what it is, but he has this line where he's just like, That's what it is. Sucks to be Harvey Dent." Pamela in places looks weirdly like Jessica Rabbit.
She does, doesn't she? Oh wow,
yeah,
that's
it. He says, I think Harvey's engagement is off. I'm like, well, investigate before you start saying things like that. You don't know for sure that she's involved.
They only have 22 minutes, Cap.
Oh.
That's the reasoning behind it.
Okay.
I need to figure this out soon for the third act.
Nice touch in the animation there when he puts his hands up to the glass. That looks great.
Fantastic.
Just the little subtle things like that.
And there's always when he's running and the cape always droops back at just the right angle.
So that's why something like I don't really see it in like today's animations. Like and you would imagine this was far less cost effective at the time. Like they have more cost effective ways to do stuff, and yet it's not as detailed as something that was made, 25 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, just compared this to Spider-Man, the animated series, that show had pretty detailed character models, but their animation was terrible.
Yeah. And I think the people, the very people making the show, once they started going digital, didn't have as much care in the details a lot of the time.
Yeah. Well, they make it a lot cleaner. Like that seems to be the way they went. Is like it's clean. Like this has a lot of texture to it. This has so much texture to it that it wasn't the same once they started doing like the new animated series.
And even the grid on the animation cells kind of helps to add to the grittiness of like the look of the show. It feels lived in. It feels like it's not polished.
Yeah, like kind of like the noir tone they're going for doesn't work with a very clean image.
Yeah, because even in noir films, part of what added to it was what the film quality was like, and those little imperfections. Like you want those imperfections. Mm-hmm. So yeah, she is ready for this. I love this line she's about to have where she's like, "Oh, when she's talking to her Venus flytrap, what'd you get this time?" And I'm like, how many people has she done this to?
Little raccoons that wander in and.
What'd you get this time? And then she's like, "Oh, a little bigger than a fly." I'm like, this thing wouldn't notice a fly. Yeah, what is my sweet little fly trap caught this time? Like, she has killed no fewer than 20 people with this fly trap. my wife was like window washer, the gardener. Well, she doesn't need a gardener.
Yeah, she's got her costume ready and everything too.
I love it. I love that this show, like we always talk about how it's is always great for kids and adults and works on different levels. But I like that it's comic book enough that it just lets villains name themselves. We don't need any silly way to shoehorn in names. She's just like, "I'm Poison Ivy. Look at me."
Yeah.
That's what I am.
Yeah, it's not that tired excuse we get of like the media names them all the time. Like these guys are crazy and they've developed their persona.
Yeah, it's totally cool.
Uh,
That wrist dart thing she has on her arm, I'm pretty sure that was the gimmick of the action figure too.
Yes, yes, it was. It didn't do much. It didn't work very well, but it was the gimmick.
It was better than Bane's like bar thing. Like,
This series never got a good line of figures. We have them now. Like they're making a new set of those, and they look fantastic. But just
yeah, those are cool.
the classic ones are terrible. They never did anything. They barely move. The details were lacking.
Yeah, but nostalgia, and also you got to have a little bit of historical perspective because that's how we made figures back then. We didn't have the kind of detailed figures we have now for the most part.
Oh no, that's true. It's just like retroactively, we always update figures,
Yeah.
and this series hasn't done that until very recently.
Oh, but yeah, I mean the point back then was for kids to play with them, not for us to be like little statues.
No, yeah, that's fair. When we got Justice League Unlimited, their figures had no excuse for being so lame.
This would have been well before Batman and Robin, so
Yeah.
wonder if was that something that was kind of more so in the comics with the whole poison lipstick sort of deal.
I think we've
Yeah.
always had that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
always has that.
Yeah, it seems like an easy thing for character Poison Ivy with poison lips.
Well,
Okay,
around this time, it was kind of different because Poison Ivy in the comics around the 90s had this weird thing that she was obsessively in love with Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And so they didn't do that for this show, but it's very clear that they almost thought about doing it every now and then.
There's some really cool wordplay and writing here. I love the name of the antidote is Rose from the Dead. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then here in a little bit, there's this weird innuendo line that Batman has that cracks me the heck up. He has a line that is, I can't believe it is so, it's such a drug line. Just wait till we get there. It's hilarious.
Poison Ivy is really over the top. I didn't remember her being like this
She is
emotional.
really over the top. Yeah, and I must say she's a little two dimensional. She's got you very very stereotypical eco terrorist thing going on. And there are places where I just can't wholly take her seriously when she goes, "Oh, those bulldozers!" But this is a really cool introduction for her.
Yeah, it's not bad. Poison Ivy has a very large shortage of interesting or unique stories, so at least she gets good animated ones.
Well, she gets some weird ones too. There's some
Yeah.
creepy stuff later on.
Yeah, this is true. Poison Ivy
The thing with,
literally
like,
doesn't
the-
work by herself.
The thing with the plant babies and all that. There's some weird stuff.
Yeah, she's always been a good complimentary
Yeah.
kind of villain. Like she compliments. It's always good when she teams up with somebody.
Gotham City
Yeah.
Sirens works just for that
Gotham
reason.
City Sirens. Yep. You could make that a TV show.
Yes, you could. That'd be awesome. If only Paul Dini was on board for that.
If only. Well, and of course, we, as always, we have a lot of things to thank Paul Dini for, and Poison Ivy is one of them.
Yeah.
Just the way she's characterized, and look at the bottle for the weed. that just cracks me up.
I'm surprised we haven't gotten that out of context yet.
This is a thing. Yeah. Just the some of the subtext in this show. Like I said, things that you would never have caught when you were a kid. I'm watching this now and I'm like, you can't tell me they didn't sneak that in there because it's hilarious. Here's the thing you need. I need the bottle and you need the weed. Let's make a trade.
Did Batman just chuck that flaming wheelbarrow into the forest?
Yes, that's exactly what he did.
I hope it's not a dry time of year in Gotham.
Well, he also didn't put out the fire.
22
He's
minutes,
leaving one
Steve.
place to learn.
22 minutes. The firefighters came. Don't worry about it.
We gotta make it dead, Steve.
You know what would be funny is if that shot they just showed the prison in the background. They just have a wildfire raging.
And then it still puts up that same the same text at the bottom where it's a better, safer Gotham.
Oh, this is also the first episode that we get Stonegate, isn't it? As opposed to Blackgate.
Why did they do that, I wonder?
I have no idea. I don't know why they switched from those two, but
yeah, now I'm expecting like Buster Bunny or someone to come on and start telling us what's coming up next.
Yeah.
oh, good old days.
Well, sorry, yes.
I was just saying, fun thing about these credits is there's two voice actors in this. One of them is Melissa Manchester, and the other is Neil Ross, and they did original voices. But they don't credit them as additional voices. They credit Melissa Manchester as Neil Ross.
What? Jeez.
That's hilarious. Well, anyway, everybody, thanks a lot for watching. I sure hope you enjoyed watching Pretty Poison with us and listening to us talk about it. Next week, we'll be doing the next one on the list, which is the Underdwellers. And like I said, some weeks we might do two. We're gonna talk about that a little bit and kick that around. But because these are 20 minutes, you're pretty easy to knock out. So anyway, we will see you again next time. I am Captain Logan, and this is Steve Baxi.
Bye, everybody.
And DanzNewz.
Yes.
Thanks for watching.